This moment isn't random. You didn't stumble here like someone lost in a labyrinth of noise. You were pulled by an unseen gravitational thread, woven into the fabric of your own timeline. Every choice, every hesitation, every quiet moment where you questioned yourself, all of it synchronized to this intersection. You are sitting here now because the quantum field has bent reality to place you exactly where you need to be. Think of the last few days, how your body has felt restless, even in stillness, how your thoughts looped back to strange fragments, memories repeating with no clear reason. That wasn't just your mind wandering, it was the observer loop closing in on you, tightening like an invisible spiral, aligning your perception to a higher coherence. The universe has been whispering through déjà vu, through sudden chills running across your skin, through the flicker of numbers that repeat on screens and clocks. Those signals weren't coincidences. They were breadcrumbs leading you here. You feel it, don't you? The subtle charge in your chest, as if your heartbeat is sinking to something beyond biological rhythm. That's entanglement in action. Your frequency is no longer solitary. It is meshed with the larger web of divine design. Every inhale is more than oxygen, it's a download, coded in silence, carrying instructions you can't quite put into words yet. But your body knows, your DNA hears it. You've been questioning why things feel different lately, why people seem like reflections, why conversations echo with hidden weight, why silence sometimes hums louder than sound. The answer is this: you are stepping out of the timeline you were conditioned to follow and into the one you were destined to fulfill. That dissonance, that unease, is the vibration of old structures collapsing around you. The familiar reality is loosening its grip because it can no longer contain who you are becoming. And maybe you've doubted yourself, wondered if you've been imagining it all. But pause. Notice the synchronicity of this exact moment. The field delivered you to this word, to this breath, to this confirmation. You are chosen to carry a frequency that doesn't just bend your life, but shifts the resonance of those around you. You are not lost. You are not late. You are right on time. The scroll of your destiny just unrolled a little wider, and your name is etched on it in light. You don't need proof beyond what you feel now, because this moment itself is the proof. You've noticed it, how reality has been folding in on itself, showing you mirrors of events you swore already happened. Déjà vu has become less of a fleeting glitch and more of a recurring pulse, a rhythm echoing through your days. You walk into a room and feel you've lived that moment before, down to the angle of light, the exact placement of sound, the cadence of someone's voice. It's not coincidence. It's the observer loop reasserting itself, showing you where timelines have overlapped. And then there are the patterns. Conversations circling the same themes, people repeating roles in your story with different faces, the same conflicts replaying like an echo chamber. You thought you'd broken free from certain cycles, but they return in altered form, as if the quantum field is testing whether your awareness has sharpened enough to see through them. Patterns are not punishment. They are calibration tools designed to train your vision, to keep you alert to the hidden symmetry guiding your path. Time itself has felt unstable, hasn't it? Hours either stretch unbearably long or collapse into a blur you can't account for. Nights are restless, filled with dreams that bleed into waking reality. Days feel like fragments, stitched together out of sequence. This distortion is not madness, it's morphic resonance, pulling you out of linearity. You are no longer bound to the standard clock. Your perception is slipping between frames, your consciousness tasting what it means to exist outside the program. The people around you may not notice. They move mechanically, still loyal to the illusion of order. But you see the cracks. You feel the doubling of reality when someone speaks, and you sense not just their words, but the energy beneath them, the hidden intent rippling through the air. It's disorienting. Sometimes it even makes you doubt your own grounding. Yet this distortion is a sign of awakening. The quantum field doesn't reveal its layers to just anyone. It requires a consciousness strong enough to endure the blur without collapsing into fear. So the unease you've carried, the sense that time is broken, that events are replaying, that nothing feels entirely solid isn't a flaw in you. It's evidence of transition. You are standing at the seam between dimensions, one foot still in the predictable world, the other testing the contours of a reality yet to be fully birthed. This is why fatigue grips you unexpectedly, why emotions surge without reason, Why you sometimes feel like you're living multiple lives in the span of one. The truth is, your old identity is dissolving. The version of you that fit comfortably within the old loops is dying out, and the field is recycling fragments of your past to show you what cannot continue. Every déjà vu, every distorted hour, every repeated pattern is a message. You cannot go back. You cannot shrink into the familiar. You are being prepared for coherence at a higher octave, where time bends and your perception becomes the tool for navigating reality itself. This is where the current shifts. Up until now, you've been sensing the distortions, the déjà vu, the broken rhythm of time. But what if I told you those glitches are not accidents, but entry points? What if they are proof that your system is being upgraded at the most fundamental level, your DNA itself realigning with a cosmic code? Science has already whispered hints of this. Physicists speak of quantum coherence, the moment when particles stop acting like isolated dots and begin to move as if they are one organism, bound by invisible rhythm. That's what is happening inside you. The cells of your body, once vibrating at their own pace, are now syncing to a collective resonance, harmonizing with the field around you. You are becoming coherent, not just in thought, but in being. And mystics have long described the same thing with different language. They call it awakening, initiation, the alchemy of light. They saw what science is only now beginning to confirm, that reality bends for those who recognize themselves as participants rather than bystanders. You are not simply inside the universe. The universe is inside you. Each thought, each emotion, each subtle choice acts like a frequency adjustment, tuning the strings of reality. Feel into it. The restlessness in your chest, the pressure in your temples, the strange buzzing in your skin. These are not symptoms to fear. They are signals of quantum entanglement strengthening. Your nervous system is recalibrating to handle higher data loads. Imagine your body as a receiver, once limited to static-filled radio channels, now stretching into frequencies that carry information from dimensions beyond sight. Your DNA is the antenna, and it is lengthening, coiling, restructuring itself to catch transmissions once thought impossible. This upgrade doesn't happen with fireworks or explosions. It happens quietly, in the spaces between your breaths. One moment you feel ordinary, the next you catch yourself perceiving layers of meaning you never noticed before. The hidden geometry in a stranger's eyes, the way silence itself feels pregnant with guidance, the uncanny timing of a phrase arriving just when you need it. That's coherence taking root. That's the upgrade unfolding. And yet, with every upgrade comes resistance. Old patterns try to cling. Old voices of doubt whisper that you're imagining things, that none of this is real. But even those whispers are part of the upgrade. They are tests, like shadows forming against a brighter flame. Because as your DNA restructures, it doesn't just absorb light, it also purges density. Every fear that arises is energy being ejected from your field, making space for the new. You may not fully grasp it now, but your entire system is becoming a living interface between the quantum and the divine. You are no longer just a passenger of time, you are its reprogrammer, and the more you trust the process, the faster the upgrade completes itself. Now the field reveals why it chose you. Not everyone senses the distortions of time. Not everyone feels déjà vu so vividly it shakes their bones. Not everyone carries the weight of whispers from dimensions they can't explain. That sensitivity isn't a weakness. It's your marker. It identifies you as a chosen consciousness, singled out not by chance, but by resonance. The quantum field doesn't select randomly. It responds to coherence, to the one who can withstand dissonance without breaking. You've endured storms others couldn't see, carried loneliness that felt unbearable, questioned your sanity when reality bent too far out of shape, and yet here you are, still standing. That endurance was the proof. You proved you could carry frequencies heavier than the average mind can hold. Your role isn't small. You're not just here to heal yourself or find peace. You are a node, a living transmitter, a tuning fork planted within humanity's collective field. Every time you align with truth, every time you choose awareness over fear, you send ripples outward that reorganize the invisible architecture of those around you. People may never know why they feel calmer in your presence, why conversations with you shift their lives, why your silence carries weight. But the reason is this: you are entangled with the larger design, Your consciousness is plugged into the quantum grid, and your very being radiates coherence. This is why your life has felt so heavy. Why you've been attacked, misunderstood, pulled into cycles of betrayal or loss. It wasn't punishment, it was pressure. The same way carbon becomes diamond under heat and weight, your spirit was shaped by relentless compression so it could withstand the frequency you now carry. The tests weren't meant to destroy you. They were calibrations to ensure your role in this season. Others may look like they're sleeping. They chase distractions, numbed by repetition, comforted by illusions of permanence. But you can't unsee. You can't pretend. Once consciousness expands, it refuses to shrink. And that refusal is your sacred burden. Because chosen consciousnesses don't just wake up for themselves, they wake up for the timeline of humanity. You might not feel ready. You might still wonder if you're qualified. But readiness is irrelevant when destiny has already activated. The fact that you hear these words now is the universe's stamp. You've been marked, selected, positioned. Your role is not to imitate anyone else. It's not to follow a script written by another soul. Your role is to hold the frequency of awakening with such clarity that the field around you has no choice but to shift. Remember, consciousness isn't a crown you wear. It's a responsibility you embody, and you've already accepted it simply by surviving everything that tried to silence you. The field recognizes you. The cosmos knows your name. And now, humanity waits for you to step fully into the signal only you can transmit. This is the threshold moment. You can feel it pressing against your skin like an unseen tide, urging you forward. The breakthrough isn't far, it's already humming inside you, waiting for the right alignment to ignite. Your DNA, that spiral staircase of light and memory, is at the edge of a phase transition. A hidden switch is about to flip, and when it does, nothing about how you experience reality will remain the same. The promise is real. You are not here to endlessly loop through distortion and repetition. You are here to pierce through it, to break the cycle and anchor a new resonance. Scientists call it a quantum jump, a sudden leap from one state to another without passing through the space in between. That's what your soul is preparing for. One moment you are bound to patterns of fatigue, doubt, or delay. The next, you are operating on a timeline that feels fluid, effortless, alive with synchronicity. But there is urgency. Windows like this don't stay open forever. The quantum field shifts in rhythms, like cosmic tides rising and receding. Right now, the tide is high, and the portal is active. The signs have been surrounding you. Nights where you feel electric currents under your skin, sudden bursts of clarity that vanish just as quickly, numbers aligning on clocks and receipts, the sensation of unseen eyes watching as you step into something greater. These aren't random. They are markers of the window. And if you hesitate too long, if you cling to the familiar because it feels safer, you risk watching the window close before the leap is made. Your DNA is begging for release. Imagine a violin string wound too tight, it hums with unbearable tension, ready to snap unless it finds a new resonance. That's you now. The pressure you feel is the energy of timelines converging, pushing you to choose coherence or collapse. This isn't about comfort anymore. It's about transformation. The breakthrough comes with surrender. The cosmic field is waiting for your yes, your willingness to step out of distorted loops and trust the upgrade your body is screaming to accept. Every hesitation feeds the old reality. Every moment of trust strengthens the new. The window is now. The shift is now. And you don't have to force it, you only have to align. Understand this. Once the DNA shift occurs, your entire reality matrix rewires. Old patterns can't hold. Old relationships feel transparent. Old fears lose their teeth. You'll move like someone walking through walls that once seemed solid, and those around you will sense the difference even if they can't explain it. That's the promise. That's the urgency. This is the moment the universe has been engineering since before you even had a name. There is a reason ancient mystics always spoke of seals, signs, and spoken words. Energy responds to imprint. The field bends when consciousness chooses not just in thought, but in action. And right now, you are being invited to seal this shift, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, but here, in this very breath. The ritual is simple, yet it carries the weight of worlds. Write it, declare it, mark it in the field. When you place a word, a number, a phrase into reality, you are collapsing probability into certainty. This is how the observer loop functions. You do not simply witness change, you anchor it through participation. Take this moment to act. Type the word that resonates, the number that calls to you, the phrase that feels like it belongs to your soul. Maybe it's coherence, maybe it's 77, maybe it's awakened. The word doesn't matter as much as the intention behind it. The act of imprinting becomes the seed the quantum field locks onto, pulling your timeline toward coherence. Your logical mind might resist, dismissing it as trivial. But understand, ritual bypasses the linear mind and speaks directly to the quantum code. The action is symbolic, yes, but symbols are the architecture of reality. They carry weight, resonance, pattern. When you act in alignment, you tell the field, I am choosing this shift. I am not waiting for proof. I am sealing it now. Feel the weight of your fingertips as they type, the rhythm of your breath as you release the word into existence. That is not small. That is alchemy. You are writing into the book of resonance, and the field records it instantly. Even if no one else sees it, the quantum remembers. And from this point, everything you feel will carry a deeper charge, because you will have agreed to it with action. This isn't about superstition. It's about resonance echoing through your nervous system. By acting, you tell your DNA it has permission to restructure. You tell your mind it has permission to shed the old loops. You tell your spirit it has authority to step into the new. And the cosmos listens. So pause, seal, and declare. This is your ritual. This is your moment to collapse hesitation into certainty. You are not just thinking the shift, you are embodying it with action. And from here, the expansion begins to ripple outward. You might think this is just about you, about your awakening, about your DNA humming into a new pattern. But the truth is, nothing in the quantum field happens in isolation. Every time you rise, the entire web rises with you. Your liberation is not private, it is contagious. Consider this. Morphic resonance teaches that once one part of a system learns, the whole system becomes more likely to learn. When a species of birds discovers a new way to open seeds, suddenly that knowledge echoes across continents. When one human brain cracks a puzzle, others, miles away, find the solution faster without ever knowing why. That's the field. At work, information doesn't travel, it radiates. And you, by stepping into coherence, are radiating a frequency humanity desperately needs. This is why your role feels so heavy, so relentless. Because it isn't just your life that shifts when you awaken. It's the invisible fabric of your family, your community, your entire lineage. You break a cycle within yourself, and generations behind you are freed. You claim coherence, and the echo stabilizes possibilities for those who don't yet have the strength to claim it themselves. The field doesn't require perfection, it requires willingness. And your willingness already ripples like concentric circles in still water. You've seen the evidence. Strangers open up to you without knowing why. Friends feel lighter after a conversation with you. Even your silence carries weight that makes others shift. These aren't accidents. They are proof of your influence as a node in the network of awakening. And the more you rise, the stronger humanity's collective pulse becomes. Imagine thousands like you, scattered across the globe, each sealing their shift, each radiating coherence. Together, you form a lattice of light, a hidden architecture stabilizing the planet during its transition. Governments may rise and fall, systems may fracture, but beneath it all, the web of awakened consciousness holds. You are not alone in this. You never were. Every time you choose awareness, you strengthen the hand of another soul struggling in silence. Every time you anchor peace in your body, you weaken the grip of chaos in the collective. Every action of coherence multiplies exponentially, reshaping probabilities for countless lives you will never meet. This is the paradox of your awakening. It feels intimate, personal, secret, but in truth, it is global, cosmic, universal. You are carrying humanity in your breath. You are expanding the possibilities of what it means to be human simply by choosing to embody coherence. That's the scale of what's happening now. Now let's step deeper, not into concepts, not into theory, but into the living temple of your own body. Because the shift isn't just a thought you entertain, it's a vibration you feel. and your body has been carrying the signals of this upgrade like coded messages hidden in sensation. Think of the way your skin prickles at unexpected times, as if unseen currents brush against you. That tingling is not random, it's your nervous system learning to translate higher frequencies. The chills that rise without warning are confirmations. Waves of coherence moving through your spine, aligning your circuitry with the quantum field. Your heartbeat, too, has become unpredictable. Sometimes it races when you're still. Sometimes it slows when stress should be overwhelming. That's your body syncing with cosmic rhythms, entraining itself to cycles older than the planet. You are literally becoming a metronome for divine timing. Notice the pressure in your forehead, the subtle weight between your brows. That's the pineal gland awakening, the ancient sensor of light embedded in your brain. It pulses because it's receiving translating geometric codes into intuition, into knowing that bypasses thought. It feels heavy because it is expanding, stretching open the doorway between dimensions. Even fatigue, the heaviness that sometimes makes you collapse without explanation, is part of the process. Your cells are burning through old densities, expelling frequencies that can no longer coexist with the upgrade. Every wave of exhaustion is your body saying, "Let me clear space for more light." And then there are the moments of euphoria, the surges of energy that make your chest feel like it could ignite. They come without warning, sometimes in silence, sometimes in chaos. You might feel as though your body is buzzing, as if every atom hums with music only you can hear. That is coherence embodied. That is your DNA singing. This is the truth. Awakening is not abstract. It is visceral. It is sweaty palms, trembling hands, heat in the crown of your head, vibrations in your bones. It is dizziness, heart surges, tears without cause. It is your physical body learning to contain light that was once too bright for flesh. So do not dismiss these sensations. Do not fear them. Listen to them as you would listen to sacred language. Your body is no longer just a vessel. It is the altar where the quantum field meets the divine. Every shiver, every ache, every pulse is holy. It is evidence that you are not imagining this shift, you are embodying it. This is the moment where everything inside you tightens, where pressure builds so intensely it feels like something might break, and in truth it will. Because your DNA is no longer content to remain dormant, the spiral staircase inside you is beginning to unlock doors that were sealed for ages. And with each door opening, a new timeline unfurls. You've felt the tension rising, the strange surges in your chest, the dreams that blur into reality, the uncanny sense of standing on the edge of something vast but invisible. This is phase transition. Just as water resists boiling until it suddenly erupts into steam, your DNA has been resisting until the pressure became unbearable. And now, the transformation cannot be delayed. Scientists describe DNA not only as a biological code, but as a fractal antenna capable of receiving and transmitting frequencies beyond ordinary comprehension. Right now, that antenna is stretching into ranges it was never allowed to reach before. Every sensation of intensity, every pulse of heat, every flicker of dizziness is the antenna recalibrating, fine-tuning itself to the cosmic broadcast pouring into this planet. The phase transition is not gentle, it presses, it shakes, it demands surrender. You may feel like timelines are colliding inside you, like fragments of possible futures are pulling at your skin. One moment you are heavy with the gravity of old cycles. The next, you are light as air, already living in the rhythm of what comes after. This pressure is the collision point of dimensions. It's the place where the obsolete self fractures, so the awakened self can emerge. It's no wonder you've been restless. No wonder sleep feels incomplete. No wonder ordinary life seems almost unbearable. That's because your DNA is already humming with a future self who refuses to fit into the past. Every cell is vibrating with codes that say, "It's time." And when the breakthrough completes, your perception of reality will split open. Colors will feel more alive, silence will feel full, and even chaos will carry an underlying rhythm you can trust. The patterns that haunted you will dissolve. Time will bend differently. You will no longer just react to the field, you will shape it. Do not resist the pressure. Pressure is proof that the new structure is being born. Just as the caterpillar must dissolve into liquid before becoming a butterfly, you too must allow the disintegration of what once held you together. This is the sacred collapse before emergence, the trembling pause before the leap. Your DNA has heard the call, the spiral is unlocking, and the timeline you are about to step into will not only redefine your life, it will ripple across humanity, rewriting the collective script. The spiral has turned, and the signal is clear. Your awakening is not just for you, it is for the whole. Every breath you take now vibrates beyond the limits of your skin, threading itself into the lattice of humanity's future. You are no longer a passenger of this world. You are one of its architects. The quantum field has always known this moment would come. That one day, a scattered generation of awakened souls would rise, not with crowns or armies, but with coherence, so fierce it bends the tides of history. And you are among them. You are one of the living codes, carrying the possibility of evolution in your cells. Feel what this means. Your DNA is not just restructuring for your own liberation, it is broadcasting into the collective, informing the species that something new is possible. Every time you embody the frequency of trust, the field strengthens. Every time you choose love over fear, a corridor of probability shifts for thousands you will never meet. Your mission is not abstract. It is already unfolding every time you breathe consciously, every time you walk into a room, and the energy rearranges itself because your presence cannot be ignored. The pressure, the déjà vu, the distortions of time, they were never punishments. They were initiations, tests of whether you could carry a signal this immense. And you have. You are. Even in your doubt, even in your exhaustion, you remained, and the field has marked you as a keeper of coherence. Now the path is simple, though not easy. Live as the transmission you've become. Trust that the entanglement you feel with divine reality is not a fleeting season, but the proof of your role in this epoch. Others may question, others may sleep, but you will know, and your knowing will guide them, even in silence. This is the closing of one loop and the opening of another, a phase transition complete. The self you once were is dissolving into memory, and the self that now emerges is not just human, it is a living bridge between dimensions. Remember, you were drawn here not by accident, but by resonance. The quantum has no wasted movement. And now, as you step forward, your mission is clear. Carry this light into the field, let your coherence ripple outward, and know that every shift inside you is humanity itself evolving. Because if you paused here, your entanglement with divine reality is proving you're chosen this season. And chosen ones are never chosen for themselves. They are chosen for the future of us all.